This is another video to try and make sure that you guys realize that you are making a mistake and should unsubscribe. This is the second one. You don't have to know the first one, but just know that you should not be subscribed. Stop!
Hey guys, Chugobo Yao here, and y'all don't listen! Not only did the opposite of what I wanted happen, but it actually reached another milestone, which means I need to change tactics. I'm pitting myself against y'all with this story. That's right, we fight! Hear me out. Now, we all share our interests sometimes, but also our displeasures. One common enough internet interaction I find is how some people like Catgirls. However, if you were to hear my opinion of them, you'll sometimes hear me casually say that they're abominations, that they're one of the worst things about anime, or that they should be put down. Clearly, very non-confrontational statements. Now, of course, I love to exaggerate my linguistics. Sometimes playing with words and tones is fun to me, so me going super hard on the whole catgirl hate is intentionally excessive. Unless catgirls trigger me because of this very story. We're going several years back, time long enough for me to not actually be affected by it, but now is just a running gag. Back to when I was in high school. Now, for context of what I was like at the time, I was basically known as the guy that was friends with everyone. Happy to make friends, stopped random conflicts, just smiling like an idiot. In fact, I recall two moments where I had stepped in between two guys beefing, and there was a teacher who witnessed it, who gave me a sign of approval when I stepped in and prevented it from happening. Probably because they didn't have to get involved. And then the other was that there was this one guy who was doing this whole tough look routine guy thing, sort of like this idea. And he got in my way in the hallway going left and right as I was trying to pass. So the first thing I did to this guy that I didn't know yet was just, I hugged him. That was the first thing I instinctively did. And he hugged me back and let me through and never bothered me again. In fact, one of his buddies would soon later call me his Chiga, which at the time was a mix of my name and I didn't know what the actual paired word was at the time. My name in general is a very easy to find nickname sort of kind of deal, like over 50 nicknames. I mean, one of my icebreakers when I introduce my actual name is, my name is Chusen, but you can call me Chu, Chewy, Chewbacca, Choo Choo Train. There's a whole bunch of nicknames and I'm sure you'll find one. And my name is just that fun to make nicknames with, it seems. So that's me. The start of my extrovertedness of a friendly vibe in high school. Except because it's high school, a bunch of hormonally puberty-changing teenagers, it's not always going to be friendly for everyone, unfortunately. I was spending my time in the music room playing piano, minding my own business, and eventually some girl walked over and doesn't say a word to me, which is fine actually because, you know, a passerby listening to some music is typical and didn't want to distract me. But I do notice a level of intense staring. Once I finished the piece, the girl spoke up, complimenting the music. Wow, you're really good at that, especially with your playing. Can you finger me? This is my first ever interaction with this girl, and I'm just some friendly Christian boy wanting to chill and play some piano. So I just look away awkwardly and completely silent and just continue playing. Bullying is just a thing for high school, and that's just how it is sometimes. But because of how I was, I never bullied her and treated her the same as anyone else. She took that as a romantic opportunity, and the way she would show her interest was by acting out an anime catgirl to me, to pull off that kawaii appeal. We're talking about nyas at the end of sentences nya, where she would imitate the poses, and then she would rub herself against me like a cat. Me being not about conflict, I just didn't tell her to stop because she's not hurting me and she's not particularly annoying me. So I just sucked it up and died inside with discomfort. I mean, it's nice to know that I wasn't being a dickhead to this person and one of the few that she could trust around in school, but her interactions just sent my cringe into the stratosphere. That is why I hate catgirls, because it reminds me of this period of time. And some people ask me after the story, okay, but what if she mellowed out and would you have? No, the damage was done. And while I tried to outweigh the positives to negatives with people, she wouldn't have been attracted enough to me at the time to make me think that way. And from what y'all know about my first story on this channel, that level of thinking wasn't even on the radar. So she could have been like actually pulling it off in a babe, and I could have been like super weeb into it. No, I still would have not seen it. What about anime catgirls? No, I hate them. They're 90% fan service bait, and they also usually don't help with the story and are cringe. When's the last time you heard of a cat girl being best girl in your waifu wars? And I don't count the ones where the only female character in the show just happens to be a cat girl. That means they have no competition in their story. They suck! Anime was a mistake. How'd you know about fingering when you're so innocent? I can listen. My friends will try to teach me things, but that doesn't mean I have to dedicate what they teach me to what I do in my life. My friend showed me porn ads on the internet to see my reaction, and I was aware of breasts, but that's not enough to make me care. So, no, I don't think any of you can convince me that catgirls are a good thing. If I am alone on my side of the war and that I have committed war crimes against fictional fantasy characters, then I'm quadrupling down. Kill all catgirls. Jokes and comedic effect aside, it's a cringe story of mine that is honestly funny to me and has been a consistent bit for me and my friends. And besides, it's better to vent sarcastic, heinous shit in the wind and not mean it than to actually start spewing poorly conceived hate and attacking people. Now that is more cringe than catgirls. So I've made my stance. I am anti-catgirl. So you better unsubscribe right now, or you will feel my wrath to cleanse this world of abominations. Sayonara.